The Troy Trojans to face the Kentucky Wildcats in the NCAA tournament. It's Locked On Sunbelt.
You are Locked On Sunbelt, your daily podcast on the Sunbelt Conference, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, Dave Schultz, Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. We will get to the baseball. Troy took 2 out of 3 from the Cajuns. A little controversial call to end the ball game on Friday night. App State sweeps the Bobcats. And Marshall snaps the Ragin Cajuns softball series streak at 89. We don't talk about that enough, although I think I did call that. And we'll just say this right now on March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And I happen to be wearing green. All right, ish. I don't think the Ragin Cajuns softball team nor the Ragin Cajuns baseball team are going to the NCAA tournament this year. I don't think that's a big surprise with the softball team. I think the baseball team is very disappointing this year. No. The softball team, all the talent, not all the talent, but a lot of the talent dispersed because the coach left. And the baseball team is not. They had a nice comeback on Sunday. Someone put out they may not be soft, but I don't think they're very good. Okay. Troy facing Kentucky. That is the big story. Number 3, Kentucky in the Midwest Regional. Lexington is actually hosting the first and second round, so they can't play on their home court. If it was in Louisville, they could play, but it's in Lexington. It turns out Louisville is actually going to Lexington to play. But Kentucky is going to Milwaukee to play Troy, the number 14 seed. This is your classic offense versus defense. Kentucky, high-flying, three-point shooting, really athletic, more than 85 points a ball game, 5th in the nation. Troy plays really good defense. They give up just over 65 points a game. And so what's going to happen? Troy, by the way, middle of the pack. I looked it up. Middle of the pack in the Sun Belt, 3-point shooting against 32%. And that's in the Sun Belt Conference. The top 4 scorers in Kentucky, all guards, all right, and all shooting over about 35% from 3. So this is going to come down to, can Kentucky hit the 3-point? All right. Can they hit the 3-pointer? It's going to be big guard play. Tayton Conerway, can he control the game for Troy? All right. Can he stay out of foul trouble for Troy? Because if Tayton Conerway gets into foul trouble early, ball game's over. All right. That it's going to be a blowout. Okay. And who for Troy, or for Kentucky for that fact of the matter, from the front line can contribute. You got statistically speaking, and we can go through that. Obviously, for the Trojans, you have Thomas Dowd, who had a solid Sun Belt Conference tournament. Miles Rigsby was pretty good. Jackson Fields can shoot it. Those are the guys on the front court. And for Kentucky, who usually has some size, but they are guard dominated this year. Let's see who they have. Because all the top 4 scorers are guards. They have Amari Williams, their center, 11 points a game, 8.5 rebounds a game. That's tops on the club, rebounding. Andrew Carr, 10.5 points a game, for almost 5 rebounds a game. And then Brandon Garrison, that drops off to almost 6 points a game and 4 rebounds a game. So, again, all these guys play a bunch of minutes. Although, how about this? Jackson Robinson and maybe this could be me. Jackson Robinson, Lamont Butler. I don't know if they're hurt. That could be me. They play. I don't know if they're missed. They've only played in 24 ball games. Let's see when the last time they played. Game stats, because no, they haven't played in a little bit. Yeah, no, they haven't played. So they haven't played. So Jackson's been out. Okay. Lamont Butler, let's see the last time he played. So he played in the SEC tournament. All right, but he only played 8 minutes. So he hasn't played much either. All right. Let's see Kobe Brea. Let's see the last time when he played. Okay, so he played in the SEC tournament. And a lot of minutes. So my point is that these guys played a lot of minutes. That was the point. Ortega Owe leads the team in 28 minutes played, but Jackson Robinson had played 28 minutes a game. Lamont Butler, 25 minutes a game. They don't play over 30 minutes a game. This is a very deep team, but Robinson hasn't played since February, I guess, and Butler maybe is just coming back. Brea didn't play against Alabama. Let's see what Amari Williams did in these ball games, right? They got hammered by Alabama. Oh, no. No. Am I missing that? They did get hammered by Alabama. All right. Amari Williams, 4 for 8 against Alabama. Alabama's tough. Although he did have 8 for 13. He had a good ball game. 16.7 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a good ball game, went to the free throw line a bunch. Only 4 for 8 from the floor, though. That's not a bad ball game in a losing effort. Brandon Garrison, let's check out his numbers. Again, for a guy who was in Kentucky this season, I did not watch a lot of Kentucky basketball. 16 minutes against Alabama, 0 for 1. He does not shoot it a whole lot. He had a big ball game against LSU back on March the 3rd, 6 for 12. But his field goal attempts, 1, 4, 2, did shoot 12 against LSU, but 1, 8, 5, 2, 5, 5. Doesn't shoot it very much at all. That could be depending on matchups. He is a big dude. He is 6'10", 250. Troy does not have anybody who can match up with that. That may be a mismatch for Troy. All right. And then you have some other reserves. But it will come down to, again, can Kentucky make the threes? And here's going to be the other thing. Troy has to rebound. All right. Troy cannot allow offensive rebounds, because you hear the cliche all the time. The best three is like right after an offensive rebound, because nobody is covering you. They're always open 3-pointers on an offensive rebound. Troy has to get those offensive rebounds. If they're not layups and they kick them back out for threes, those are killers, especially if they're after 2 or 3 offensive rebounds. Those are just killers. So we'll get into this. We'll see if we can do a crossover episode with Lance Daw from Locked On Kentucky. And, we will see if we'll continue to preview this. I will tell you the line has gone down. The line was 11.5. Kentucky favored by 11.5. When I started this recording, it went to 10.5. So somebody likes Troy right away. The over-under was 152.5 when it started. Let's see. Perhaps that has changed. No, it's still 152.5. So that has not changed. All right. Over-under has not changed. But it did go down from 11.5 to 10.5. So someone put a little bit of cash on Troy. All right. Let's take a timeout. We will shift gears. Find out what happened in baseball this weekend. Troy does take 2 out of 3 from the Cajuns. I put together a video, went a little viral, I guess. We'll talk about that. And Marshall Thundering Herd take down the Ragin Cajun softball team. That's the first time the Ragin Cajun softball team has lost a series, Sunbelt series, in over a decade. That's impressive. We will do that after I tell you about Factor and Supply House. All right. Eating healthy doesn't have to be complicated. With Factor, you get chef-made, dietitian-approved meals that are ready to heat and eat in just 2 minutes. So you can fuel your body without the hassle of cooking. Factor meals arrive fresh, never frozen, and with 40 options across 8 dietary preferences each week, you can customize your menu to fit your goals, whether that's calorie smart, protein plus, or keto. Convenience meals, nutrition. I love how Factor keeps you on track with healthy, delicious meals without time-consuming prep. And the variety and taste are fantastic. The Korean beef bowl and creamy Parmesan chicken are some of my favorites. They taste homemade, but take no effort. And they have beyond just meals. Factor also offers smoothies, breakfasts, and snacks, so you always have something nutritious and ready to go. Eat smart with Factor. Get started at factormeals.com/Factor Podcast and use code Factor Podcast to get 50% off your first box plus free shipping. That's code Factor Podcast at factormeals.com/Factor Podcast to get 50% off plus free shipping on your first box. And Supply House. Get the supplies you need from the site made for the skilled trades, Supply House. Whether you're in plumbing, HVAC, or electrical work, Supply House is a reliable way to order products online. Their easy-to-use website is packed with helpful resources and the latest product info to help you get the job done right. Plus, with complete inventory of over 200,000 parts from 400-plus top brands, you'll find exactly what you need delivered fast from coast to coast. Need help with an order? Supply House offers expert support and industry-leading service, so you'll always talk to a real person. And for trade pros looking for an extra edge, their free Trade Master program offers exclusive perks like a dedicated phone line, free shipping, and discounts on every order. Thousands of skilled professionals are already taking advantage. Now it's your turn. Join the Trade Master program at supplyhouse.com/TM and start ordering plumbing, HVAC, and electrical supplies with just a few clicks. Plus, use promo code S-H-5 for 5% off your first order. That's supplyhouse.com. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. So Cajuns lose. Well, go the other way. Troy takes 2 out of 3 from the Cajuns. And as of Sunday, 8:40 p.m. Eastern time, see what and I think I didn't put these on there until Sunday morning. I don't think I did it. You can see it on my Twitter feed. I did it March. Oh, no, maybe I did it. Maybe it was Saturday. Saturday night, I did it. Saturday night at 6:04, I did it. Okay. And there's 2 videos with the same guy at the plate in the 6th inning and in the 9th inning. Runner on at first base. The first one, I wanted to do this backwards, but I did it in order. And swing and miss, throw to second base, safe. Second baseman drops the ball. Same thing happens in the second play. Swing and a miss. Catcher throws it to second base. Looks like the second baseman drops the ball. But they call him out because of batter's interference. The problem is it's the same play twice. Now, Jay Walker, voice of the Cajuns, said the Troy dugout, meaning maybe Skylar Meade, Trojans manager, was riding the home plate umpire a little bit, or maybe a lot, saying, hey, that should have been batter's interference. Call it next time. And if that's what happened, that's a tip of the cap to Troy. That's a good job by them. to make the home plate umpire aware. The problem is he didn't call it the first time. You really can't call it the second time because you've already set the standard. Those two plays look exactly alike to me. If you call it the first time, I don't have a problem calling it the second time. And if you guys have been following me long enough, a foul in the first 5 seconds of a game is a foul in the last 5 seconds of the game. Don't tell me you can't end the game on batter's interference because there's 2 outs in the ninth. No. If it's batter's interference with 2 outs in the ninth, it's batter's interference. And I've had coaches have replied to me, it's batter's interference. They both should have been called. Well, then you should have called the first one. All right. The point of I got like 15,000 views. Like I don't get that many. At this point in time, it's 14,400. So by the time this comes, probably Monday morning, it'll be close to 15,000 views. The swings look exactly alike. If the first one was called batter's interference, then I don't have a problem with the second one being called. And again, I don't have a problem, let the guys play. And I don't buy that whole let the players determine it. Well, the player does determine it. If the batter interferes with the catcher, then that's not the umpire's fault. That's the batter's fault. But he didn't call it the first time. Can't call it the second time, as far as I'm concerned. If you call it the first time, then I don't have a problem with you calling it the second time because they look exactly alike. Having said that, that's, in this case, neither here nor there. All right, that's not why the Cajuns lost. The Cajuns lost game 1 anyways because they couldn't turn a double play to end the second inning. They had a tailor-made 4-6-3 double play to end the inning. They didn't end the inning, and that turned over the lineup, meaning the 9-hole hitter came up who grounded out to second base, so no damage done in the second. Problem is the leadoff hitter comes up. The number 1 hitter comes up instead of the 9 hitter leading off the third inning. Guess what happens? Brooks Bryan, Mr. Everything, hits a 3-run home run. Instead of maybe having 1 out and nobody on when the leadoff guy comes on, they leave the leadoff guy let off with a walk. Don't have any idea how that inning starts, but it's much easier if you're the Cajuns pitcher, starting with the number 9-hole hitter than with the leadoff batter. That's how that game didn't go. And the Cajuns just didn't get clutch hitting. Troy took the second game, I believe 8-5. And Cajuns had a lead in that one too. Let it get away. And then Troy jumped out to a big lead on Sunday, and the Cajuns came back, salvaged that ball game. It's going to be a long season for the Cajuns. You look at their lineup, nobody's hitting. They may get a clutch hitter here or there, but nobody is hitting in that lineup. Not yet. Not like that Troy lineup. That Troy lineup is something special. All right, quickly, let me go. Best way to look at this is really easy, is to go to the standings because then we can see who won. Coastal Carolina did sweep. Guess we can look at the schedules too. Let's see here. So Friday. All right. So Coastal Carolina sweeps Georgia Southern. How about that? And here's a surprise. I did not see this one coming. We wondered if this was a facade or not. Georgia State with a sweep of South Alabama. How about that? Coastal Carolina swept. App State swept the Bobcats. But Georgia State's got to be the biggest surprise. How about that? So Coastal Carolina's 3-0 in the conference. They're 15-5 overall. Maybe only a surprise because it's Georgia Southern, but they were at home. Georgia State was at home, but we thought maybe that was a little bit of a facade because they had been beating some lesser competition. But now they're 15-6 overall. App State all of a sudden has won 4 in a row, and they took down the Bobcats, who are struggling a little bit. They're 8-11 overall. Troy goes 2-1 against the Cajuns, 15-5. They are very good. They go into Lafayette and take 2 out of 3 from UL. That's outstanding. Southern Miss takes 2 out of 3 from ODU. ODU salvages the final game of the series, taking Sunday's action 4-1. Arkansas State takes 2 out of 3. They are now a 9-10. They're creeping up to 500. James Madison takes 2 out of 3. So you had Coastal Carolina, Georgia State, App State, Troy, Southern Miss, Arkansas State, and James Madison all win their series. Marshall lost 2 out of 3. ULM lost 2 out of 3. The Cajuns lost 2 out of 3. Old Dominion lost 2 out of 3. Georgia Southern got swept. South Alabama got swept. And Texas State got swept. Ouch. All of a sudden, Texas State has lost 5 in a row. We'll see. See what games we have coming up here quickly. It's a tough blow for South Alabama. Tough blow for South Alabama. Let's see. We got any big ball games this week? Nothing. James Madison is taking on West Virginia. Baylor's got Texas State. Southern Miss against Ole Miss. South Alabama is at Alabama. We got some big ball games on Tuesday. James Madison, in fact, has a 2-game set with West Virginia. And then on Friday, we got, again, Sunbelt, you got Coastal at Troy. It's a big matchup already. Georgia State's at Old Dominion. Will Georgia State keep it up? James Madison at Marshall. Georgia Southern hosting App State. Can App State stay hot? ULM hosting Southern Miss. Arkansas State is at Texas State. And the Cajuns at South Alabama. All right. That'll be a little Schultz classic there. All right. Let's take a timeout. We'll come back. The Marshall Thundering Herd snap the Louisiana Ragin Cajuns 89 straight series winning streak. They have not lost a series in Sunbelt play in over a decade. Really impressive. We'll do that when we come back. We'll tell you about FanDuel. March Madness is here. It actually is. And FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. Right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's 200 extra bucks to use from everything, buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's cutting down the nets. I've got my eyes on a few underdogs this year, and FanDuel makes it easy to back them with spreads, totals, and game props. Do I take Troy in 10.5? I'd like to bet her at 11.5, I'll tell you that. With tournament games happening almost every day, there's almost something exciting to bet on. The FanDuel app is simple to use, and when I win, I get paid instantly, no waiting around. So visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long. All right, Dave Schultz, Lockdown Sunbelt, your teams every day. The Marshall Thundering Herd take down. I want to see if I got an email. It doesn't appear that I did. Usually I do. Did I not get an email? Usually they put something out. Maybe not. From Matthew Hebert from the Cajuns. From coming up short. Maybe that was on, or maybe it was yesterday. There it is. It was yesterday. I say yesterday. It was on Saturday. Louisiana Ragin Cajuns softball team faced a sizable deficit after the first inning, wasn't able to catch Marshall and falling 12-4 in 6 innings in the Sunbelt Conference Series finale at Dot Hicks Field in Huntington, West Virginia. All right. Let's see if they tell you everything about it. Do they not say this? Do they? They don't. Oh, goodness. Oh, here it goes. The loss in the rubber game of the series brought an end to Louisiana's NCAA record 89-game streak. It should be 89 straight series streak of consecutive series won which began in March of 2013. It's not 89 games, it's 89 series. Back in March of 2013. So again, that means they have not had a bad weekend since 2013. That's amazing. Although it took one series for that streak to end when Jerry Glasgow left. Not all on Allison. It's portal. It's NIL. The girls scattered. Some went to Oklahoma. I don't know if did any of them go to LSU? A lot of them ended up at Texas Tech. Let's see what Texas Tech is doing. Out of curiosity, what is that? Big 12 softball? Big 12 softball standings. Just to see if they're any good. But that's just really impressive. Is that really true? Is that right? Texas Tech is 23-7. How about that? That's all former Cajuns players and the Stanford pitcher. That's what that is, right? That's who that is. Yeah, that's impressive. All right. Good for Jerry Glasgow. All right. Yeah, they're going to go to the NCAA tournament, and the Cajuns aren't. That's disappointing. But that should just not be sloughed over. That is a really impressive streak. It's sad that it came to an end. It was going to come to an end somewhere along the way. But again, I don't think that's the only thing that's coming to an end this year. I think they're young. I think, in a year or two, when they fill in the holes through the portal and some of the youngsters get a little bit more experience, I think they'll be back to, the top of the Sun Belt. But unless they win the Sun Belt Conference tournament this year, I don't think the Cajuns are going to the NCAA tournament. And that's the same for the baseball team. They're not very good. Very good. If we go to quickly back, and I didn't do this, I don't know why I didn't do it. I did it individually. If we go to the stats for baseball, and we do overall batting, Troy is 306. Cajuns are hitting 250. And I'm not sure there's anybody hitting 280 on the team. If we go to pitching, and that's the Cajun strong suit, Cajun's ERA is 8th. They're at 5.84. That's just not good. It's not good. That's baseball. So it's going to be one of those years. Doesn't change the fact that the Sun Belt has some teams, and we'll see if Arkansas State looks better. We'll see how they can do it. I'm disappointed in South Alabama. You don't have to go into Georgia State and win the series, but you can't get swept. Maybe Georgia State is going to be good. That could be on me, but I presume Southern Miss is good. Troy is really good. Coastal Carolina is good, and we'll see if you can get more than 3 teams into the NCAA tournament, right? If you get Coastal, Troy, and Southern Miss, those are going to be the 3 teams that I think are going to be in there, and we'll see if they can get somebody else in there. So we shall see. So I guess congrats to the Herd for snapping the Cajuns' series winning streak. Again, not to have a bad weekend, a bad bounce, a bad call. Marshall took the first ball game. Cajuns came back to take the back end of the doubleheader, and then Marshall won on Saturday. And the Cajuns just they got blown out, and that streak is over. So it didn't take very long for the streak to end. Unfortunately, it did not get to 90. And I think when we talked about it, we talked about that streak was coming to an end. Unfortunately, it came to an end sooner rather than later. All right, we will. We're still going to try and get some football coaches. All right. Some have reached out. We may end up in Lexington for some basketball is the goal on Thursday. Troy doesn't play until Friday, and I'm going to be off Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So as the case may be. So we'll get some episodes in. We won't miss any episodes, hopefully, this week. Lexington is not too far away at all, about an hour away. So that was the idea, to be able to go to those games and come back. Working the weekend, but not on Friday. Okay. Appreciate you tuning in. We will, again, try to have a crossover episode from, I think it's Lance Daw joining me. We'll see if he's up for it. Didn't answer me, big time in me, but that's, that's Lance. He's big time. Thank you so much for tuning in. You have been watching Locked On Sunbelt, your team every day. Enjoy the week. Enjoy the basketball. Sense of anticipation. Troy would be pulling off one of the bigger upsets in this tournament if they can take down Kentucky. All right. We will have all the preview for you all week long. Thanks so much.